All right, here's a quick overview of the EU or the European Union. We discussed this because the UK used to be part of this supranational organization. So an organization, multiple nations, transcends any of those national borders. There's 27 members, and some of them follow the single currency known as the euro. So now 27 countries, about 446 million people, 24 official languages. The history behind it, they first began in 1952 and then 1958, kind of more of an economic community coming together when it's steel and coal or energy. And then in 1987, they create the European Single Act, so the single market, again, more an economic purpose. In 1993, the Treaty of the European Union, which actually establishes it, the European Union with the Treaty of Maastricht, and it establishes the euro. In 99, they update a little bit in the Treaty of Amsterdam, which devolves some certain powers from the national governments to the actual EU Parliament, one of them being regarding immigration. In 2003, the Treaty of Nice actually makes this more of a community rather than just for economic purposes. It talks about expansion and adopting other countries. And then the Treaty of Lisbon looks at the voting rights of individuals and the different bodies of government within the EU, and then establishes a Bill of Rights. Looking at the three pillars, again, they're looking at common policies within the community, foreign and security policies, and then criminal justice matters. Kind of the history, again, 1989, the fall of Berlin Wall, and EU economic help begins there. There's different phases and different programs. 1992, so there's criteria set to join. You have to have a democratic system, a good market economy, and then actually be able to implement those EU laws. 98, they have negotiations to enlarge and expand. There's a summit in 2002, 10 new members, and then a few new members in 2007. So kind of looking at the enlargement here over the years from 1952 throughout 2007. So what is the euro? Again, it's a single currency for all Europeans. Not all countries have adopted it. So if you look at the map there, when the UK was part of it, they did not adopt this, but it can be used anywhere in those European areas. When we're looking at the economy, again, European Economic and Monetary Union, again, establishes prices within the European Union. And kind of looking at inflation at times. Again, inflation is sustained increase in the general level of prices for goods and services. So it's measured, annually by a percentage increase. If it rises, every dollar you own buys a smaller percentage of something or buys a smaller percentage of a good or service. So they're trying to beat inflation. Another thing that we need to know is the democratic deficit within the EU. So that is the lack of its accountability to the average citizens. As citizens in a democratic system, you're voting for people and you're electing those individuals that make the decisions. However, a lot of the decision making within the EU is made by non-elected officials, officials who are appointed by different legislative bodies to serve on the EU. Again, EU challenges the sovereignty of member states because decisions are made by the EU instead of their national governments. So again, the national governments want to do something. However, there's this EU that is also making decisions like immigration. So it challenges kind of their authority or sovereignty there. Some issues that the EU is always facing trade disputes with other countries outside of the EU. Some member states have more economic power. For example, Germany had to bail some of these countries out during the recession. Pressure from other non-member states to join because they want to be part of the EU. And then we also had the Brexit, the pressure of UK leaving and trying to figure that out. Also challenges to EU's authority by nationalist sentiment. So people within member states who really don't like the EU because they like their nationalism, they like their country and their members or their individuals only and don't want to have to deal with other people throughout Europe. Arguments for larger EU and the expansion. More weight in trade negotiations, right? You have more products to deliver. Maybe it creates cheaper labor in some of these newer states and maybe creates more jobs. Promote political stability so you can have these strong countries helping these other countries and promote stability within the region, and also creates more markets and diverse markets. So looking at the population compared to like China and the United States there, it's gone down a little bit because the UK has left. Look at the surface area, Russia, China, EU, United States. The money that's involved is very significant, right? One of the largest trade partners. And then different people, how many people live. Again, UK is no longer. GDP. Again, the GDP per inhabitants, again, gross domestic product. How they spend their money. Again, they're looking at security a lot of times and justice, natural resources, and again, connecting that to the economy. The EU institutions, you have the European Parliament, Council ministers, and the European Commission. A lot of these positions that we'll learn are also appointed, so they are not elected officials by individuals within these countries. So if you look at top-down, how the laws are made, if you look at citizens, interest groups, just like the United States, they get these ideas, then they have a formal proposal by the European Commission. Parliament will then address these with the Council of Ministers. They kind of decide jointly if they want this to happen. Then the national or local authorities have to actually implement them. So how are they going to implement them at all the different national levels? And then the Commission will monitor this. So the voice of the people, again, EU laws and budget are decided here together with the Council of Ministers. And there's the different countries that are involved and how many people are on those boards. And then they actually have different political parties within European Parliament. So again, different political parties run for these positions, but they have nothing to do with their national political parties.